Today's video we are going to be speaking and talking about DC. Now we are going to be talking about it because to me DC is one of my favourite franchises of all time. And like Dragon Ball, I thought why not continue and make more videos about these things that I really like. So I did one about Dragon Ball, gave you some insight into why I think it's the best and why I love it and everything about it. And now I'm going to do the same with DC. Why do I love DC? What is DC? Why do I love it so much? So I've got 4 things I'm going to dive into. So I'm going to dive into like the impact it's had on my life, the impact it's had on the pop culture stuff. I'm going to dive into the characters. I'm going to dive into the diversity part of it, which is because they diverse in so many different ways, DC, with their content, so to speak. Like, you got animated films, animated shows, live action films, live action shows. And then I'm also going to talk about another topic known as moments as well, because to me, DC has some of the great iconic moments. So, yeah, so basically that is what this video is going to be about. So, let us know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on DC? Because I know there's a lot of Marvel fans out there as well, but I like both of them, but to me, I like DC more. That's just me. So let me know in the comments below, give us a like, subscribe, and let's get into this video. DC has come a long way from when it first started out, just as comic books. We all loved going down the store and buying those comic books, reading those comic books, reading those stories, but now we get to see them as well on the big screen, on the TV shows. We get to see it all now. And DC is one of those ones that has some of the most iconic characters, the most iconic superheroes, supervillains as well. Don't forget the villains. Has so many iconic things, iconic storylines, iconic stories that we love to see on the big screen, we love to see on the comic book page. This is what DC is about. And it is just been absolutely going for, wow, how long? Decades and decades and decades. Now I'm going to tell you exactly why I love it, and I'm going to go through the points. But I tell you what, DC is just one of those ones that's been around my whole entire life. I mean, it's been around my whole entire life. It's been around a lot of generations' life. This is an iconic franchise, something that is massive in pop culture. I can tell you now, you walk down that street and you ask someone about DC Comics, you ask them anything to do DC related, they will know exactly what you are talking about. That's how big this franchise is. And we're going to get right into it. The characters of DC, I mean, is there bigger characters ever known in history? I mean, we're talking the 3 big iconic characters. We're talking Superman, we're talking Wonder Woman, and we're talking Batman. The 3 biggest characters in pop culture history, there's not a single soul that doesn't know those 3. And what makes these characters so good is the way that they are written, the way that they are portrayed. Batman is just like us. He is like us. No superhero powers. Just like us. Just a smart guy with a lot of money that wants to do good. The backstories they give these characters are just top notch. They make you feel for them. They turned Superman into a human character that you can relate to, but not at the same time. And then you throw in a strong woman lead character like Wonder Woman. I mean, I know as a kid, when I was a kid, I loved Wonder Woman. I wanted to get my photo with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was just that character that was just there for the women that was perfect. And like just drove everything right about it. And that's what DC does very well. They give you these 3 big staple characters and they are all treated equally basically. But obviously not power scale wise. But they are all there equally as the banner of DC. And then you add in like your Green Lanterns, your Aquamans, all your other supporting characters that are just great as well. They have some iconic characters as well in there that have great storylines that we really resonate with. Now, we flip it on the other side. We talk about supervillains. Joker. I mean, come on. Joker is an iconic character as well. What makes Joker so good is that he is one of those villains that is just so entertaining, scary, but so intriguingly interesting as well. We all love the Joker because of how fucked up he is. And how, like, he plays with Batman. He's the yin-yang to Batman. Like, that relationship they have is just so iconic and so good. And to dive into the Joker's psyche on different levels of, like, the anime show, the live action versions. There's just so many things about the Joker that attracts us into there. There are some super villains as well. Darkseid. I mean, if you watch the anime stuff, you read the comics and stuff like that, Darkseid is another character that you just wanna dive into and know more about. They have some great villains. I mean, look at Batman's catalog. The Riddler, Two-Face. There is Harley Quinn. Like, you just gotta look at their catalog. General Zod for Superman. Just look at these iconic villains that just build. I mean, they're that iconic, that interesting, that good. They made a freaking standalone Joker film. I thought it was a bad idea, but they proved me wrong. And the characters is what makes it. And they have fantastic characters that I absolutely adore and love. So DC knocked that one out of the park for me. Now let's talk about diversity. What I mean by this phrase diversity is they are so diverse in the way that they do things. They have an animated universe of movies that I think are absolutely phenomenal. They are so good. I just started to watch them and get right into them, and they are really good. I love it. And they do some great things on there. They're not carbon copies of live action ones. They're different as well. And I think what they do so well in the animated versions of the movies and that is they do things that I don't think would work in a live action film, but work in the animation side. And they do that so well. And it's so awesome, and I absolutely love the animated side as well. And that's what keeps it, you know, keeps me going back to DC's, because there's so many things coming out of them, animated and live action, and I'm like, oh my god, absolutely awesome. And like, they just throw a new thing at me and keep me guessing all the time, like trying something new and then going to something else, and it doesn't feel repetitive, it doesn't feel like the same, and that's so good. Then we get into the animated TV shows. I mean, come on, the Batman TV animated show is one of the greatest animated shows of all time. It's just so good. There's so many animated shows that I grew up with, that I know a lot of other people grew up with as well. Then we go into the movie side, and I mean, you got the Dark Knight trilogy, one of the greatest trilogies of all time. You've got the DCEU. Why? Some of the movies I don't think are really good. Some of them I do think are just really good. And then you've got all the old original Supermans, the Batmans, the Tim Burton Batmans, the Schumacher Batmans. There is so much diversity. And then the TV shows. Why I don't like the TV shows as well. But they are still there. Arrow was good at the start. But they're still there to give people. I know people do like the CW shows as well. So there's so much diversity and so many characters that they can grab from and create these different properties throughout their franchise. And it keeps you... what's the word I'm looking for? It keeps your taste buds going, because you're trying different things, you're getting different flavors here and there, and that's what DC does well. They give you a bit of live action, they give you a bit of anime, they give you a bit of a TV show, and then a TV animated show, and they just keep giving you those little things, and they never feel the same, which is what I love about it. And that's why I think the diversity of DC is a lot better than Marvel right now, because they give you so much more. There's so much more variety than just than having like the DCEU, which the MCU really only has the MCU. The animated stuff's not very good. Where DC gives you the best of both, and that's what I like about it. Now let's look at some of the moments, because DC has given me some fantastic moments. I mean, it's given me some sad, some great, some epically awesome ones, and just some chilling moments as well. And we're going to look at some of these right now, and we're going to start off with the death of Superman in the movie, the animated movie, The Death of Superman.
Clark. I got your note. And I love you too.
This moment to me is one of those moments where it's awesome but sad at the same time, because I'm sitting there watching this hero that I idolized as a kid, Superman, reduced to nothing, and then seeing his love of his life threatened to die right there by Doomsday, and he musters up all the energy he has left to take him out, and unfortunately we see him pass away. This to me was much better than Batman vs Superman, the death of this one. This one actually hit me pretty hard, and I thought they did a fantastic job, and this was just one of those moments. Another moment, on the other hand, that is just absolutely, like really freaking sad. The Dark Knight Rises. This moment.
It is a far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far better rest that I go to than I have ever known.
I'm so sorry. I failed you. You trusted me. And I failed you.
Every time I watch this scene, every time I watch The Dark Knight Rises, when Alfred turns to those tombstones of Thomas and Martha Wayne and says that line that he failed, and the way Michael Caine does it, it's a tearjerker. It gets me every single time, and to me, these are the moments that DC create. These sad moments that you just bring you to tears because of these iconic characters and the way they are portrayed. But there's also some freaking really chilling moments. And who cannot forget the moment Joaquin Phoenix, Arthur Fleck, became the Joker? What makes this scene so chilling to me and so epic is he just killed and now he's going out as the Joker. And just the way he dances, the way he acts was just it was awesome, but chilling as well at the same time, because I'm like, dude, this guy's unhinged now. He is unhinged. And to me, that stare dance is iconic and will be iconic for many, many years to go. But there is still one more moment that I get chills, goosebumps every single time. It is an absolutely epic moment, and every time I watch this, the goosebumps, the spine chilling moment, here it is.
The Codex is not here.
Where has he hidden it?
I don't know.
Where is the Codex? You think you can threaten my mother?
How could I do a DC video without adding one of my favorite DC films, Man of Steel? I mean, that to me right there, when Clark grabs Zord and says that line, it just gives me goosebumps and chills every single time. I know not everyone loves Man of Steel. I absolutely love it. I love it. And these are some of the moments, just a handful. There is so many more moments. You got Wonder Woman's No Man Land. You've got Suicide Squad, there's moments in there. Back in the day, Batman 89 and all that. The original Superman, the score, like there's so many iconic moments throughout this, and these are just some of my personal favorites. And these moments, they're riddled throughout DC, and that's what I like. I think there's more of this in DC than Marvel, and that's why I probably gravitate to DC more because of that. So this is just some of my moments. I want to know what your moments are though. Now let's talk about the impact. DC has had a massive impact on my life as well, like Dragon Ball did. I grew up with these characters. I remember watching Batman, watching Superman, watching Wonder Woman. These characters instill things on me in my life. Superman was always the one you wanted to be, and Batman was just like the realistic one that you could be. And then Wonder Woman, the girls absolutely adored Wonder Woman. I adored Wonder Woman as well. I thought she was absolutely beautiful, awesome, just really, really cool. Really, really cool character. But as I got older, I started to understand these characters a lot more, and I did instill a few things. Like, you take Superman's selflessness, you take that and add it to your own life. You take Batman's work ethic, striving to be better than anything else, be better than yourself. And then take Wonder Woman's pride, you take her attitude of defend no matter what, never give up attitude, and that's the impact they have. The impact that these characters have had on pop culture is phenomenal. I don't think Marvel, I don't think the MCU, I don't think any of these comic characters, superhero shows branched off would ever exist if it wasn't for DC creating these characters. These characters have created and gave us a platform to showcase these superheroes in the light that we all love. And that's why we all love superheroes now. DC started it, they've had a major freaking impact on all of us. I mean, everyone knows these characters. That's the impact they have. It has been going on for decades and decades and decades and decades. And it will continue on to go for decades and decades and decades. My children's will know these characters. That's how iconic, that's how much impact they've had on our lives, and they get passed down generation to generation to generation. And they've always been there for my life. Like, it's just, and I'm sure many of you other people have had them there impact your life in some sort of way. So, they've had a major impact, and you can't deny that. So there you have it. That's DC. I absolutely love DC. There's been so many things, the diversity of them, the way that they have different content that I can enjoy. The characters are just top-notch characters. The stories that they create are just phenomenal. The impact it's had on my life, huge. Absolutely huge. And some chilling moments, sad moments, and awesome moments as well. So let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on DC? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'm sure a lot of Marvel fans will say that they prefer Marvel, which is totally fine as well, because I'm sure some people get what I get out of DC for Marvel. So I'm interested to know what you guys have to say. Give us a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.